Hey guys, and welcome to our breaking news video where we are going to tell you guys all about the big change that's coming to JL that we've been teasing for about a month now. So I'll just break it to you right now. Basically, what we're doing is instead of doing single day tournaments, what we used to call them, JL is going to seasons now. So teams will play multiple of their games over separate days that span over a couple months, pretty much. And that is going to take effect after JAL 14. So we still have two what we now call tournaments to play before this takes effect. And it will take effect first in JAL 15. And the reason for that is because we want to time it up with when the CBA expires. And that is because certain things in the CBA need to be changed to line up with this new seasons format that we're going to, and that will be explained later when these two talk about what's going on. So that is the big change.
Okay, so as Brock said, after these next two tournaments is when it will begin. Just to give you guys like a rough estimate, the first season will probably begin around Thanksgiving, and then will probably end after the New Year. So there'll be like multiple meetings, or what we used to call tournaments, throughout a season to make the season. And the reason we're doing this is the league is growing. I mean, there's teams that want to be put into league all the time. We can't do it all in one day. We're pretty much too big of a deal now to do it all in one tournament. So that's why. Also, we're going to try not to call these things tournaments anymore and call them seasons. So like previous tournaments, we want to start calling them seasons just so it's all in the same motion.
Yes.
And it's not like, oh, JL tournament 9 and season 1. No, they're all just a season.
Yeah. They're all still called JL whatever, but they're called like JL 8 or 9 was now a season. Sure. Not just a tournament.
And our goal is to get away from one-day tournaments altogether. We basically want to, from now on, starting JL 15, we want to do seasons all the way through.
Well, we always kind of had this idea in mind from the beginning. It's just now it's time to do it because the single-day thing, the single-day season that we're doing right now, it's getting too hard to pull off with all these people and teams. So anyway, the way JL 15 is going to work is that, like Ty said, it's going to start at Thanksgiving. It's going to end a little after the New Year's. So teams will still so like around Thanksgiving, there'll be 2 days of playing where like half the teams will come to this day, half the teams will come to this day, and individual teams will knock out about 3 to 4 games. We haven't decided yet, but they'll basically play half their regular season in that one. And then about around Christmas time, we'll do that same thing again, 2 days. Teams come in on 2 different days. So teams aren't committing to like 4 different times they have to be in a place. It's still just twice for one regular season, but each team's going to play like 6 to 8 games now.
And just to clarify, a team only has to come in for one of those days to play their games.
Yeah, they would only have to come in one time on Thanksgiving, one time on Christmas, and then that'll be the regular season. And then a little after New Year's will be the playoff like meeting time, and that'll be all the playoff teams will show up, and they'll play out the playoffs on that day. And because the season's now and all this stuff, everything's expanded, we're also going to probably expand the playoffs, and it'll be probably best of 3 series now, which would be really cool. But yeah, that's how JL 15 is going to look. Remember, there's JL 13 in a couple weeks, and there's JL 14, which is tentatively right now set for like mid-August, which will still be a single-day season. And then JL 15 is when all this will start. And then from that point on, we only want to do these seasons now. Who knows? They might get even bigger. They might stay the same. We're definitely going to find out what works and what didn't work in JL 15 and adjust it from that going forward. But yeah, so that's what's happening. It's big stuff. Yeah. And so the reason we wanted to pair it up with when the CBA expires is because there's going to be certain things within the CBA that, like they were saying earlier, need to be adjusted, such as like a player's salary caps, roster, spots, like all those kind of different things. So for example, like if a player right now in a single day season is valued at like $5 a tournament, if you stretch the season over multiple months now, well, then that player's value is more like around $10 to $15. So that kind of stuff needs to be adjusted and written into the rules of the CBA, and all of that will be voted on in the CBA by all the members of our league, as we always do. And so that's why we decided to do it then. So this isn't happening until November, but we want to make you guys all aware.
Yes.
There's a lot of positives also, because you'll definitely play a broader spectrum of teams. So if you get like a crap draw, you're not screwed.
You'll play more games, so you might not miss the playoffs when you have the same record as someone else.
Exactly. It makes it more, like if someone's having a crazy one tournament day, that's not going to decide the fate of the team, or if someone sucks on one day.
And also if like one of your teammates can't make it, your season's not over. So.
And this will be a lot more fun for us to cover everything
news-wise.
My gosh. We can talk about stuff while the season is going, mid-season things. We can, oh my gosh, the Rapids are falling apart mid-season or this and that. It'll be so much more fun for us and for you guys to follow along with it. And then
our headlines will no longer be Underdogs Change logo.
Yeah, so basically we'll be able to do in-season reporting instead of the off-season reporting, how we've been able to do it now.
And the interviews will be better too.
And also, because there'll just be more time for us to do this, we won't be trying to cram everything into one day. We'll be able to do more for the individual games. So we've been thinking about things like broadcasting the games live through like Facebook and YouTube and doing all this stuff, and getting back to where we're taking stats for every game.
Yeah.
And so there won't be like two fields going on at once anymore when this happens. It'll just be one field, and we can focus all our attention on individual games more. It'll just be so much
we're trying to make
cooler.
You guys
it's cool now, but it's going to be even cooler.
Yeah. And it'll be easier to follow. There's a lot of positives to this. So that is our breaking news announcement. Hope it made sense. And yeah, that's it. All right, that was very informative.